Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Now, from a personal tragedy to political indecision, the recent rows over red doors and red wristbands are the visual signs of a seeming inability by political leaders to resolve the refugee crisis. Council bosses and MPs in some deprived areas of northern England, Scotland and Wales now say they're being allocated more than their fair share of asylum seekers under the government's dispersal programme. Our Home Affairs correspondent Andy Davies reports.
This is Asif from Afghanistan. He took a lorry from Calais last summer, he says. He's now being housed in Cardiff.
This is my room.
This is your room, Asif?
Yeah, this is my room and it's my bed, and one guy is there and one guy is there.
And this is your bed?
Yeah, this is my bed.
He shares the room with two others. The camouflage duvet provided by the private company contracted by the Home Office to house asylum seekers here. Is it? People have been having their haircut here?
Haircut here.
He takes us through the sparse kitchen and into the downstairs bathroom. The shower curtain and walls heavily stained. It is basic in the extreme. But it is at least temporary, and a snapshot of life for an asylum seeker dispersed, as they call it, from London to another British city, housed in what's defined as initial accommodation, before a more permanent setup can be found if eligible for support. Asif says he's been here 15 days and is looking forward to being moved. So Asif, there are 3 in your room.
Yeah.
There are 6 in the room next to you.
Next, 4 in that room.
Another bedroom here.
Yeah.
How many? 4?
4 and 4 in that
4 in
room
there.
and 1 in that room.
And 1 in there. So that's 6 downstairs, 3 in yours, 9, 13, 17, 18 in this house.
Yeah.
And it's quite a small house.
A small house is more different.
The quality of housing provided to asylum seekers varies significantly, it seems. Others we spoke to in Cardiff had nothing but praise for the standard of their accommodation. It was in Cardiff yesterday that the asylum dispersal system came under yet more scrutiny, this time over the use of wristbands by one hostel, a policy they've now ditched. This, of course, followed on from the recent red door controversy in Middlesbrough, with allegations of colour coding for asylum seekers' homes. No such policy existed, said the private company concerned today, claiming they'd looked into it on previous occasions and had found no complaints or safety issues.
And on the basis of that, we concluded that we did not need to repaint the doors. We've now decided, as a precautionary, we've now decided as a precautionary measure, just to be absolutely certain, that we will get on and repaint the doors.
Increasingly, questions are being asked about how private companies are allocating housing for asylum seekers and in which cities. Today, a handful of MPs and council leaders, mostly from the north of England, echoed previous appeals for asylum seekers to be dispersed more evenly across the UK.
There are some local authorities that have quite significant numbers of asylum seekers. In fact, more than 90% of asylum seekers live in local authorities where there are more than 100 asylum seekers being housed. On the other hand, there are lots of local authorities that have no asylum seekers at all. Last year, that was approaching half of all local authorities in the UK.
Local authorities have to sign off on their asylum intake, the Home Office pointed out today, adding they're voluntary arrangements and regularly reviewed. If events of the last week are anything to go by, they're arrangements which will be subject to much greater public scrutiny too.
Andy Davies reporting there.
I've been getting